The tale opens in a realm ruled by chaos, the demon world, a land where cruelty is law, violence is tradition, and destruction is a way of life. These beings are known as demons, creatures born for war, many marked by twisted horns that symbolize their savage nature. But even among monsters, there exists a tyrant who towers above the rest, a ruler who believes that only absolute power deserves obedience. His name is Ahriman, the Demon King. Unlike the others, Ahriman does not simply crave bloodshed. He seeks domination. His vision is clear: unite the demon world under his iron fist, no matter how many corpses it takes. And with that ambition, the invasion of the Demon King's army begins. The battlefield soon erupts into carnage. Ahriman's generals move like living disasters, crushing resistance wherever they march. Dragons, ancient symbols of power, are struck down by overwhelming magic, hurled through the sky like broken toys. There is no mercy, no escape. At last, Ahriman himself enters the fray. Casting aside restraint, he reveals his true form. A colossal demon so massive that even dragons appear insignificant beside him. With a single advance, the land collapses. Fire consumes the battlefield, screams vanish beneath roaring flames, and everything left standing is reduced to ash. The Demon King has arrived, and the world burns to announce his reign. This overwhelming display of power made both the human world and the celestial world tremble. It was only a matter of time before the unification of the demon world was completed, and the invasion became global. However, something unexpected happened. After some time, in the middle of battle, the ruthless demon Hegi, who serves as the Demon King's personal assistant and was in the process of overthrowing another king, was suddenly stopped by a messenger who appeared to deliver important news. Hegi then went to ask the Demon King why the army was being withdrawn and why the world conquest had been halted. The imposing Demon King explains that he has a very serious problem. His daughter Dox is far too kind. Hearing this, the assistant is left confused. The scene then shifts to a small demon girl in the middle of a forest, rescuing a lizard from a river while smiling at the little creature. Yes, the child is gentle and innocent. Returning to the previous scene, Hagi asks if the Demon King is referring to Lady D, his daughter. Ahriman confirms this. Hagi admits that Lady D has always been very kind, but argues that this is only because she is still young and has not yet awakened her cruelty. Ahriman says that he used to think the same, but during the months she spent accompanying the invasion campaign, Dee's kindness went far beyond all limits. She healed the wounds of a human slave, shared her sweets with slave children, and helped demon slaves carry their burdens. But that was not all. She also did something far worse. Just as he is about to explain further, the kind-hearted girl herself arrives and innocently says that she now has a lizard she saved from being carried away by the river. Ahriman is surprised but gently advises her to be more careful. Turning to Hagi, he points out that she even rescued a lizard just now. He makes it clear that before being a king, he is a father, and because he is so worried about Dee, he cannot focus on the world invasion. Hagi understands the situation and proposes a solution. He says that he will put Lady D through harsh trials so that she can become a merciless demon. Upon hearing this conversation, the girl asks what merciless means. Hagi tells her that he will train her to become a great demon. Dox asks if it is a game, but Hagi answers that it is not. The Demon King, on the other hand, says that he feels more at ease knowing that his daughter is in Hagi's care. He then asks what Hagi plans to do first. Hagi explains that he will make her torture humans to awaken her demon instincts. To do this, they will cross the dense forest that leads to the human world. Along the way, there are many rebellious demons who still refuse to obey, so he plans to have Dee defeat them. Suddenly, Ahriman destroys a wall and a large portion of the surrounding terrain, creating a clear and direct path forward. Hugging his daughter, he tells her to be very careful. This is how we see her walking along that artificial path. Hagi comments that this will be a serious problem because it seems that Dee remains kind simply because the Demon King spoils her too much. Determined to change that, Hagi declares that she will not pamper her. However, while she is thinking this, little Dee suddenly disappears. Hagi assumes that a rebellious demon must have taken her away, but then she hears Dee's voice and goes looking for her. She calls out to her through the forest, but Dee is hiding because to the little girl, this is all just a game. She crawls through bushes, passes behind Hagi's back, appears at her side, and even runs in front of her, making Hagi chase her everywhere. Along the way, Dee also plays with animals and talks to the fish. Together, they all continue the game, teasing Hagi until Dee climbs into a tree and Hagi finally manages to catch her. Dee congratulates Hagi for finding her and says that now it is her turn. Hagi tells her that they are not playing and that she needs to pay attention. She explains that a proper demon must steal, oppress people, and kill them because those are the 3 principles of demons and they do not have time for games. She asks Dee to please understand. However, Dee does not listen at all because she gets distracted by a rabbit and gives it food instead. She explains that it looked hungry, so she gave it a candy. Hagi can only think about how unpredictable children are. At that moment, 2 monsters appear and try to eat both of them. The monsters argue about who will eat first, but Hagi, acting like a strong and confident woman, punches one of them away and calls them bandits, asking if they know who they are dealing with. When she goes for the other one, Dee suddenly pats its head and comments that the demon's head looks very bald. Surprisingly, the demon does not get angry and instead asks the girl if she likes his head. However, Hagi immediately sends him flying. She quickly grabs Dee and realizes that she was wrong. Dee is not kind because she was spoiled. She is simply kind by nature. This kindness affects everyone around her, whether beasts or demons. From another point of view, this makes her extremely dangerous, because her power could end up destroying evil itself, and that will require great determination to deal with. Dee finally manages to spot the Blue Lord hanging from a tree, thinking that they were still playing hide and seek. After this, Hagi begins the first lesson. They will apply one of the 3 demonic principles. Yes, they must steal. Dee is ordered to threaten the humans in a village and steal their food. That is the trial she must pass. However, the little girl is busy playing with a fence. Hagi asks if she remembers how to threaten someone, and the child answers that she does. With that, they put the plan into action. Hagi thinks that if things continue like this, Dee will not only fail to succeed the Demon King, but will not even be able to live as a normal demon. Still, she is the Demon King's daughter, and Hagi believes she can do it. We then see little Dee arrive at a shop and politely say good afternoon. Yes, her kind nature shows again, as she politely asks for a sweet potato, please. She is basically trying to buy food instead of stealing it. From her hiding place, Hagi reminds her that she is supposed to steal and asks if she forgot her lines. At that point, Dee takes out a note with her lines written on it. She then reads them aloud, introducing herself as a great demon and warning the human that if she does not offer tribute, her flesh will be torn apart and her insides will be set on fire, forcing her to dance until she loses her sanity. To the elderly shopkeeper, all of this sounds adorable, and she asks if the girl is playing at being a demon. With no hope left, Hagi gives up. The poor assistant only wanted to keep her job and high position. When Dee receives the sweet potato, she says that she has no money. The old woman asks if she is stealing it, because if that is the case, she does not need to pay. She then explains that some time ago she injured her legs and the doctor told her she would never be able to stand again. On top of that, the harvest has been poor, and since she has no customers, she is close to closing her shop. Still, if at least that sweet potato can help the child, she gives it to her with all her heart. After hearing all of this, Dee hugs the woman and uses her magic on her, asking her to stand up. The old woman does not understand, because she knows she cannot stand. Dee then lifts her up, and to her surprise, the old woman is able to stand on her feet. Shocked by this, Dee tells her that she will come to steal from her every day, asking her to stay healthy and keep her spirits up. This act of kindness makes the old woman cry, and she says that she will give her tribute every day. Dee then reads her final line, telling the old woman to do what she must do. Back with Hagi, Dee approaches her and proudly shows the sweet potato she stole. An annoyed Hagi asks why she is so proud. She points out that it is unacceptable for her to use magic to help a human, and that it would have been better to threaten her and steal the food properly. In response, Dee calmly says that Hagi is right, but now she understands that people can give things and help others, so she wants to become a demon who helps everyone. Hearing this, Hagi exclaims that such a thing would be unforgivable. However, as she says this, her stomach growls. Without hesitation, Dee gives her half of the sweet potato. At that moment, her father also appears. Seeing him, Dee gives him half of the remaining half. Yes, the little girl is like a true angel. Seeing how the Demon King came just to spoil her, Hagi finally realizes that she cannot win against them. The next day, Hagi returns to the human village. As she walks through the streets, the villagers greet her warmly. When she arrives at the old woman's house, the woman welcomes her and invites her inside. Once inside, she sees Dee holding a doll. Hagi asks what it is, and the little girl replies that it is her. The old woman explains that Dee said she wanted to become a stuffed toy, so they made it together. She adds that since Dee helps her so much, this is the least she can do for her. Dee sweetly says that it is amazing because she could not have made it by herself. The old woman thanks her and says that from now on they will work very hard together. Dee agrees, and Hagi smiles slyly, clearly planning something. Back at the Demon King's castle, Ahriman asks Dee if she really has been helping a human old woman every day. The little girl innocently confirms that it is true. So Ahriman demands an explanation from Hagi. She tells him that there is no need to worry because this is all a test meant to bring that old woman down. In the future, they will deceive her, betray her, and make her fall. For now, they are only pretending to help her in order to gain her trust. Fortunately, the old woman does not realize that Lady Dee is a demon, which made it very easy to lure her in. After understanding this sinister plan, Ahriman feels relieved. At that moment, he says that he has something very useful. He shows Hagi a substance and asks her to lick it. Hagi obeys, but the moment she does, the Demon King paralyzes her. He asks what she thinks of it and whether it is true that she cannot move. Confused, Hagi asks what it is. Ahriman explains that it is marionette salt, a substance that, when tasted by a living being, temporarily forces them to obey any order. Hagi questions why he used it on her, but Ahriman explains that he did so to encourage Dee's desire to dominate others. He then calls his daughter over and asks her to give Hagi an order, promising that Hagi will do anything she commands, no matter how cruel or horrifying it may be. Hagi is terrified. Dee then smiles in a demonic way. In the next scene, Dee is being carried while Hagi showers her with affection. Hagi asks her not to give such orders again and suggests that she use them on the old woman instead. Feeling a bit tired, Hagi asks if Dee already knows what cruel order to give. Dee answers yes and takes out her notebook with written notes, saying that her father taught her many commands. Hagi finds this perfect. She sets Dee down and sends her off to carry out the plan. Hagi already has everything prepared. Since the old woman trusts Dee so much, there should be no problem making her taste the marionette salt. Once that happens, it will only be a matter of time before they can throw her into an abyss of despair. However, when Hagi reaches the old woman's house, she sees Dee helping her instead. Realizing that the plan is not working, Hagi considers stepping in to guide her, but along the way, some villagers ask for her help. Because she is still affected by the marionette salt, she cannot refuse, and they take her elsewhere. While they are loading belongings onto a cart, Dee asks the old woman why they are taking her things out. The old woman explains that her house was built many decades ago. The floors and walls are in very poor condition, so she has decided to have it renovated. Meanwhile, she will stay with a friend, which is why she is taking her belongings with her. Dee asks sadly if she is leaving, but the old woman tells her not to worry because her house and her friend's house are in the same village. Before that, however, she wants to ask Dee for a favor and shows her several stuffed dolls. Dee asks if she sewed all of them herself. The old woman confirms it and says she wants Dee to keep all of them. Dee asks if she does not plan to take them with her. The grandmother says no, but not because she does not love them. She explains that she dusted them, washed them, and repaired them every day because they are very precious to her. A memory of the grandmother is then shown. In the past, her son used to run the shop, and it was always full of vegetables. Her daughter-in-law is seen sewing a teddy bear plush. Some of those dolls were for the youngest child in the house, who was happy to have them and even jumped on the bed with joy. The parents were also happy watching their child. Many years later, her son and his wife are seen watching their daughter play. Time passes, and one day the grandmother's husband never wakes up again, leaving a teddy bear beside him. Everyone is present, and she and her son cry over his passing. However, that was not the last hardship she faced. One stormy day, under heavy rain, the grandmother runs to her son's house, only to find that it has been destroyed by a landslide. From the rubble, the only thing left is the toy her granddaughter used to play with. The grandmother tells Dee that the people who used to play with those dolls are no longer around, and she believes they will be happier with Dee than with an old woman. Dee tells her that this is not true and decides to show her something. At the same time, we see Haggy finishing her task and rushing to check on how Lady Dee is doing, while Dee sprinkles magical powder over the stuffed dolls and commands them to move. The grandmother watches this in shock, and so does Haggy. It turns out that the powder was marionette salt, which is only supposed to work on living beings. Yet all the stuffed dolls surround the grandmother, and Dee confirms what she said. They all want to stay with her. She explains that the grandmother cared for them with love, and they want to stay with the one who showed them the most affection. Haggy tries to find an explanation, wondering if Lady Dee's kindness awakened the souls of the dolls. The grandmother looks at the dolls with nostalgia, and Dee orders her to keep them. Because of that order, the old woman can no longer refuse. Even as an elderly woman, she will stay with them for the rest of her life, hugging the very first doll she ever sewed. Now the scene returns to the Demon King. He asks Haggy how the test went, but the woman looks completely cold and defeated. Yes, the poor assistant already feels like she has been fired. At that moment, Dee arrives and shows her the marionette she made together with the grandmother. The Demon King says it is adorable and praises her for working so hard. Dee tells him that next time she will make one for him as well, making him the happiest father in the world. Meanwhile, Haggy thinks there is nothing she can do anymore and considers returning to the battlefield to behead a few enemies to distract herself and relieve stress. Just then, Dee gives her another marionette with Haggy's face so they can match. The Demon King sees how close they are and asks Haggy to take good care of his beloved Dee. Haggy denies that they are close, but the marionette salt activates again. She then says that it will be her pleasure to take care of her. Dee asks her if they can play again tomorrow, and Haggy, under the control of the salt, happily agrees. Father and daughter then dance together in joy. Now the scene changes. We are shown a bold demon hunter searching for flowers for his wife and daughter. But when he finds the flowers withered, he notices a fire in the distance. The story then returns to the present. Haggy is supervising the extraction of magic stones when she suddenly sees someone mistreating a demon hunter. Yes, it is the same one shown earlier. Her subordinate tells her that this rebel has been causing many problems and suggests grilling him and eating him. However, Haggy knows that slaves are not meant to be eaten, since they are an essential workforce. At that moment, Dee suddenly appears with a backpack full of sweet potatoes. She greets Haggy, calling her big sister, and says that her father brought her many sweet potatoes. This makes Haggy extremely irritated, wondering how the Demon King could abandon the world invasion just to look for sweet potatoes for his daughter. The little girl then says that since she has so many sweet potatoes, she wants to eat them together with the humans and Haggy, which disappoints Haggy even more. The Demon King then joins them and advises his daughter that she should not give anything to slaves. This leaves Haggy completely stunned, wondering to herself what in the world is wrong with this family. Shortly after, Haggy scolds the Demon King directly. She points out that everything he does only makes Lady Dee even kinder. This surprises the Demon King. Sticking to her plan, Haggy decides to speak to the little girl. She explains that if Dee continues being so kind, the Demon King will worry too much about her and will not be able to do his job properly. Therefore, she tells her that she must act like a demon and have a merciless heart. The little girl understands and apologizes. Meanwhile, the Demon King begins to think that there must be something they can do. Ahriman remembers that the test involving the villagers the other day ended with very poor results. Hearing this, the blonde woman becomes angry, but she cannot do anything because he is her superior, so she considers that small confrontation already lost. However, she quickly regains her composure and tells her king that she has a test for Lady Dee, one in which the child must assert her authority over a rebellious and troublesome slave. The king finds this to be a very good idea, but the blonde woman knows it is somewhat dangerous, so she plans to prepare everything carefully. Ahriman tells her not to worry and hands his daughter a small item. The girl accepts it without hesitation, and as soon as she takes it, both the object and Dee's body begin to glow. Seeing this, her father is pleased, explaining that she is now the bearer of that staff. To demonstrate its power, he asks them to watch. Using his ability, he controls a statue like a marionette and makes it attack his daughter. Hegi is immediately alarmed and rushes to protect her, but when the attack lands, the statue is destroyed, reduced completely to dust. Satisfied, Ahriman explains that if anyone touches the owner of that staff with malice, murderous intent, or evil will, they will instantly turn to dust. With everything explained, he tells Hagi that she can relax. The blonde woman then asks what would happen if a demon touched her. Ahriman simply replies that he does not know, which leaves Hagi confused, while the little girl continues playing with the statue's dust. In another scene, Hagi's subordinate is beating the demon hunter. The beating is so severe that it triggers his memories. When he went to investigate the fire, a demon stopped him and asked if he was carrying any treasure. The bald man tried to fight back, but it was 3 against 1, and faced with such unfairness, he was brought to his knees. The blue demon then says that they will continue attacking poor villagers in the countryside and head to the next village ahead, since the house they burned earlier had absolutely nothing of value. Hearing this, the bald man becomes worried about his family. He rushes back home, only to find his bed burning and his wife and daughter dead. Overwhelmed by agony, he collapses, and then finds himself once again in the demon's dungeon. Because of this, the subordinate tells Hagi that the man is extremely rebellious. Dee appears again, so Hagi takes her along to carry out the test. However, she keeps her distance, which the little girl notices on the way to the cells and asks about it. Hagi explains that she is doing this so Dee will not feel pressured during the test, since being too close might make her nervous. In her mind, however, Hagi is actually thinking that because demons are filled with malice, murderous intent, and evil, she herself would turn to dust if she touched Dee. Hagi then asks if Dee understands what it means to assert dominance over someone. Dee answers that she does, but Hagi doubts that she truly understands. Even so, she decides to set that aside because her main goal now is to show Dee that humans are enemies. With that, they arrive at the dungeon. Upon entering, Hagi explains that once Dee discovers how horrible and dangerous humans are, she will distrust them and see them as enemies. For that purpose, there is no better subject than a resentful prisoner. Just as Hagi is about to prepare her whip used on rebellious prisoners, she sees Dee suddenly run toward the cells, shouting that it is dark. When the little girl reaches one of the cells and sees a prisoner, she stares at him and introduces herself as Dee. Witnessing her first encounter with a demon hunter, Hagi feels excited. The man then asks the child about her horns and where she got them. Dee replies that she did not get them anywhere, because demons simply have horns. The man agrees, then asks why she is there and whether she came to kill him. Seeing his hostile attitude, Hagi feels pleased knowing that if he continues to intimidate her, Lady Dee will surely come to hate humans. However, Hagi ends up disappointed when she hears that Dee only came to bring him mushrooms. The little girl begins explaining different ways to cook them. The prisoner confirms that they are delicious and adds that they are good in a stew, then asks if she would like one. The girl agrees. Seeing all of this, Hagi feels embarrassed for doing nothing while they casually interact. The prisoner then wonders why they brought this child to him. He makes it clear that he has no intention of obeying them and says that if they are going to kill him, they should do it right away. After all, he no longer has a place in this world. Confused, the girl asks what he means. The prisoner explains that after his house was burned down, he returned to confront the damned thugs. Filled with anger and hatred, he fought them in a brutal battle. It was not easy, but he managed to defeat them, while the rest of the villagers hid. After killing the demons, he prayed at the graves of his wife and daughter. That was when the villagers approached him. They told him that the mark on his body was the result of being bathed in demon blood, known as the mark of a demon hunter. Fearing that demons would come seeking revenge for their fallen soldiers, they asked him to leave the village. After finishing his story, he says that in the end he is now alone, so nothing that happens to him frightens him anymore. He declares that he is a demon hunter, and even if she is just a child, he would not hesitate to kill her. Upon hearing this, Dee opens the cell and approaches him. Noticing this, Hagi moves closer. The man threatens the girl, but she simply challenges him to a staring contest to see who can last longer. When the man is about to lose his patience, Dee tells him that she also feels lonely. She explains that when her father and her sister Hagi are working, she is left alone, waiting in her room while reading books and playing with blocks. Because of that feeling, she goes outside and enjoys spending time with people. And now that she is with him, she does not feel lonely anymore. She tells him that he should feel the same way, because he is no longer alone either. These words make the prisoner remember his people and a child who survived. At that moment, he is about to touch D. Hagi panics briefly but remembers that he should turn to dust the instant he touches her. However, that does not happen. D takes the prisoner's hand and uses her magic to heal him, successfully removing the demon mark. This shocks the prisoner. Not understanding how this is possible, D simply says that she wants to touch his head. Without resistance, the prisoner allows it and lifts her onto his shoulders. He tells her that she is a very interesting young lady, since she probably does not even know what a demon hunter is. As D touches the prisoner's bald head, she confirms that she does not. She adds that he should not be a demon hunter if it means ending up alone. He agrees with her, saying that next time he will go hunt mushrooms instead. D pats his bald head and says that she wants to eat them too. This moment makes the prisoner remember his family and how he used to carry his beloved daughter on his shoulders. He replies to D that he will bring lots of mushrooms. At that moment, D notices her big sister Hagi. The prisoner sets her down and D runs toward Hagi. Offended, Hagi says that she truly does not know what else to do with her. D simply asks how she did on her task while trying to hug Hagi's leg. Hagi quickly panics and steps back, knowing that if D touches her, she should turn to dust. However, she calms down when she realizes that nothing happens. She then sees D on the verge of tears, all because she pulled away from her hug. Hagi immediately crouches down to comfort her, patting her head and telling her that she did a very good job. This makes D happy, and she asks if she really means it. Hagi confirms it, but asks her not to open any locks without permission again. The girl agrees, leaving the prisoner happy that he was able to meet her. The scene then shifts to the demon king Ahriman as Hagi gives her work report. He asks her how it went. She stammers and replies that it was a complete success. Meanwhile, D tells her father that the mushrooms turned out great. The demon king happily says he is glad to hear that until he realizes that was not the task she was supposed to do. The two laugh, while Hagi wonders internally why she did not turn to dust when D touched her. Next, the scene moves to the mine where the slaves are working. One of the workers comments that the bald prisoner has started working again and asks if something good happened to him. He simply replies that he tried some mushrooms and nothing more, also mentioning that it is very hot in this place. Another worker tells him to endure a little longer, since winter will start soon and it will be cooler. The prisoner and the other worker look at each other in confusion, because this place is always hot and winter never comes. The prisoner then looks up at the ceiling and sees a red gem, commenting that outside it should have been winter for quite some time already. The scene shifts to outside the castle. Just as the man said, it has been winter for a long time and it has even snowed. D is seen playing outside, and nearby, Hagi is also there. She is well bundled up but still shivering from the cold. She had decided to go out to give Lady D another test, but now she is freezing. D approaches her, asks if she is cold, and places Hagi's hand on her cheek, asking if it feels warm. At that moment, D gives her a snowball and steps back to grab another one herself, throwing it with all her strength. However, it does not even reach halfway. Hagi does not understand what she is doing. D then tells her that she has to throw one too. Hagi does not want to play, but the little girl says it will only be a game for a short while. So Hagi throws the snowball straight at her face, knocking the girl to the ground. Hagi realizes she went too far and apologizes to Lady D, saying that she thought she had held back. D simply laughs and says it was awesome, asking how she did it and whether it was magic. Hagi replies that she did not use magic. After that, they return to the Demon King. There, Hagi talks about training D in offensive magic, explaining that from what she has seen, many demons become malicious once they learn how to use offensive magic. Ahriman understands her point. If his daughter masters offensive magic, she will become more like a demon, or better yet, like a true demon king. However, the important question is whether she can even use offensive magic at all, while the little girl is busy building a snowman in the hall. The Demon King says that there will be no problem with that and conjures his magic. Hagi asks what it is, and Ahriman explains that it is dark matter. If a human touches it, they will be absorbed by it. If a demon consumes it, it amplifies their mana and malignant nature. He gives it to Dee and asks her to eat it. After a while, she is seen tasting it. Hagi asks how it tastes, and the girl replies that it tastes a bit sweet. They then move to another area, where Hagi tells Dee that she will now teach her magic. She first picks up a small stone and coats it with magic, so that when it is thrown it hits with much greater force. The little girl is amazed by this and asks to try it herself. Seeing how excited she is, Hagi agrees and explains in a simple way that she should imagine water flowing from her heart to her hand. Little Dee tries with all her strength but only manages to make it glow slightly. Even so, she tries throwing it, but it is so weak that it falls just a few centimeters away. This discourages her. To motivate her, Hagi tells her that everyone fails sometimes, and that there are many types of magic, so she might find one that she is very good at. Dee then asks if Hagi can use many kinds of magic. Hagi confirms this and shows her a small flame. The girl tries it, but only creates a tiny fireball. Next, they move on to lightning, but Dee only ends up scorching her own hair. Then they try earth magic, managing to create little figures shaped like Hagi and her father. They continue with water and wind magic, but Hagi becomes exhausted from seeing how calm and playful everything is. In her mind, she tells herself that everything is going wrong. Instead of becoming more violent, Dee is simply learning more ways to play. At that moment, the girl asks why the fire does not disappear. Hagi quickly puts it out with ice. She explains that fire magic can only be extinguished by its opposite, which is ice. Tired after failing again, Hagi says that is enough for today. However, just as she is about to stop, she hears Dee using ice magic. When she turns around, she sees a massive ice pillar. The blonde woman is stunned because not even she could create something that large at such a young age. At that moment, Hagi also hears Dee say that she wants to do it where the humans are working. Hearing this, Hagi becomes demonically excited and rushes to the Demon King, believing that his daughter has finally discovered cruelty. But when they arrive at the slaves' area, they see that Dee used her ice magic to create a cooler environment for them, along with ice pops for the children. When the little girl sees her father, she runs into his arms. He praises her for doing something so amazing, but Hagi scolds her for wasting such powerful magic on something so foolish. Dee argues that it is cooler now, and that is enough. Her doting father insists that this is not a waste at all, and that they should be happy about how much she has grown, even though he cries at the same time, knowing that everything they tried has failed. Hagi, on the other hand, suffers deeply on the inside, so much that she almost has a breakdown. Seeing her inner suffering, Dee asks Hagi if she is cold, and says that if she is, she can use fire magic to warm her up. And so, everyone ends up playing in the snow together with the humans while Hagi sits in a corner eating an ice pop. On another day, a lone woodcutter is seen in the forest, shivering from the cold. He hurries toward his home when he suddenly hears a woman's voice calling for help. The woodcutter stops and asks who she is and whether she is all right, while raising his axe just in case. However, a shadow suddenly appears behind him, covering his body. The poor man lets out a scream into the sky. The scene then returns to the Demon King's castle, where the Demon King is looking for his daughter. He finds her playing with lightning, accompanied by a lizard. Ahriman asks if she rescued another strange creature. Dee introduces it as Mr. Lizard and explains that she saved him from the river the other day. He then asks if she has been taking care of it since then. Dee replies that she has, saying that she feeds him every day, gives him baths, and even sleeps with him. Mr. Lizard asks for food, and Dee takes out a cookie. The Demon King simply asks his daughter to limit herself to caring for demons or magical beasts, and with a sigh, admits that her tendency to grow attached to everything so easily is a serious problem. At that moment, Hagi appears and tells His Majesty that he is mistaken, because this trait is actually very useful for them. Dee greets her happily and approaches to ask if her lizard is not cute. The Demon King stands up and asks Hagi what she means by that. Hagi then reveals her plan to conduct a trial involving pacts, specifically contracts with magical beasts. She is concerned that Dee is very distracted and often leaves the castle when no one is watching, so they plan to have her form a pact with a magical beast that can protect her when no one is around. Since everyone easily becomes fond of Dee, Hagi intends to use this to form a pact without the need for combat. The Demon King understands and agrees that it would be good for Dee to have someone protecting her when they are not present, praising Hagi for her idea. However, he then remembers that he recently gave Dee a staff so she could defend herself. Hagi recalls that Dee used it to open the prisoner's door and that she still has not told him that Dee even healed that prisoner. Growing nervous, Hagi simply says that the staff was not very useful. In response, the Demon King says that he will give Dee his latest creation, the Assassin Pendant. But because anything given to Dee could also put her in danger, Hagi quickly grabs the little girl's hand and runs away with her before the king can give it to her. While running, Hagi explains to Dee that there are 2 ways to form a pact with a magical beast. One way is by offering her blood. If the beast accepts it, a blood pact is formed. The other way is simpler, using magic on the beast to form a magical pact. She explains that magical beasts are creatures that possess magic, something very obvious. Once a pact is formed, the magical beast will fight by her side and even protect her like a loyal servant. In short, it will remain with her no matter what happens. Dee then suggests forming a pact with Mr. Lizard, but since no magic can be sensed from him, Hagi explains that it is impossible to form a pact with an ordinary lizard. This makes Dee sad. As a result, they set out to look for a magical beast. Dee begins pointing at different animals, asking which one of them is a magical beast, but Hagi tells her that none of them are. Even though the animals are not an option, Hagi notices that they all adore Dee, which makes her wonder whether Dee might already have some kind of pact with them. At that moment, they hear the same woman's voice from before calling for help. All the animals immediately run away, and Dee goes to investigate the source of the voice. She finds a large red dragon. Dee is surprised when it speaks, while Hagi wonders why a worried salamander dragon is here. She tells Dee to step back, but Dee has already moved forward to heal it. After finishing, she asks if the pain is gone. The salamander confirms that it is and thanks her, but then notices the lizard on Dee's head. Hagi scolds Dee for saving just anyone without thinking. However, Dee asks if they can become her familiar. Hagi replies that salamanders are not magical beasts. At that moment, a black liquid begins to surround them. The salamander, frightened, warns them about it. Hagi quickly moves and destroys it, but shadowy figures suddenly appear in front of them. Angry that they failed to capture her, they accuse the salamander of betraying them. The salamander, now being controlled, places her foot on Hagi. It turns out these villains are controlling her with chains. Hagi explains that the salamander is a noble dragon that controls fire, so she does not understand how nobodies like them can control her. The shadows take offense and claim that Hagi is completely wrong, boasting that nothing can harm them. They explain that they are pisachas, demons that dwell in shadows, and that swords, physical attacks, fire, or ice do not affect them. Hagi does not recognize this type of demon and wonders if they are from another world. The main shadow then declares that they no longer need the useless dragon, since she is nothing more than meat to feed them. Looking at Hagi hungrily, it asks if her flesh also tastes good while licking her face with its grotesque tongue. Hagi is clearly disgusted. Realizing she is at a disadvantage, Hagi is about to tell Dee to run away. However, she then notices that some of the demons have been purified and understands that healing magic is their weakness. She tells Dee to make the others feel better as well. The little girl agrees, and soon she is chasing them everywhere, releasing her healing magic and defeating those terrifying monsters. The main demon is left in disbelief. Unable to accept that a little girl is defeating them, it absorbs the other shadows and becomes gigantic. Dee is not afraid and runs toward it, shouting that it is very big. At the same time, the dragon is freed from control thanks to Dee's healing magic. Seeing the monster about to strike the child, the dragon protects her by unleashing her dragon breath. Combined with Dee's healing magic, they manage to defeat the shadow demon, the so-called Pisacha. After the battle ends, the dragon apologizes for committing unforgivable acts and says that she can only atone with her life. Hagi asks her why she warned them to run away earlier if she was working with the enemies. The dragon reveals that the animal on Dee's head is her child. This shocks them both. The salamander explains that when the Pisachas captured her, she risked her life so her child could escape. Because they protected her child and fought to save her, she thanks them for keeping her child alive. Since she cannot repay them by becoming a familiar, she offers her life instead, but begs them to let her child live. Dee approaches her, returns her child, and says that if she cannot be her familiar, then she wants her to be part of her family so they can all stay together. She asks Hagi if she disagrees. Hagi admits that the dragon would be a powerful ally. Hearing this, the dragon swears eternal loyalty. Hagi agrees to allow it, but warns that the Demon King might not approve. They then return to the castle. Hagi is completely stunned, because the Demon King praises Dee for recruiting a salamander and even says that they will celebrate her achievement with a huge amount of sweet potatoes. After that, we see King Reborn and Hagi talking about a suspicious prisoner who refuses to confess despite all torture methods. Because of this, Hagi looks for another method of interrogation. At that moment, a woman suddenly appears behind her and starts tickling her. Hagi falls to the ground, unable to resist. Then Dee appears in front of her and touches her face with hands covered in paint. After that, the woman lets Hagi go and jumps forward, praising Dee and calling her her apprentice. She approaches Hagi, shows her 2 lipsticks, and says that their plan to cover her face with lipstick was a complete success. Hagi gets angry, the girls laugh at her, and the Demon King, confused, asks if she knows this woman. Tired, Hagi introduces her as a colleague she cannot get rid of. She explains that they trained together, but she was assigned to a combat unit, while Taiti, yes, that is her name, was assigned to the Seductive Witches, the Perik, a unit made up of demon women who seduce men. However, Hagi adds that Taiti has never stopped being an apprentice. Taiti then asks what Hagi is doing with Lady Dee. We are shown that they met when Taiti was pulling a prank, and Dee was so amazed by it that she decided to become her apprentice. Back in the present, Hagi mocks her, saying it is absurd that an eternal apprentice is now acting as a teacher. Taiti responds by asking if Hagi is really in a position to criticize her, since Dee already told her everything about the trials meant to turn her into a real demon. Sarcastically, she says that it seems Hagi is having a bit of trouble with that. Confident in herself, Taiti says she came to give suggestions. After all, a seduction trial is better than torture. Hearing this, Dee becomes confused but also excited and asks what the word seduction means, saying she wants to try it. Hagi questions whether it is a good idea to teach Lady Dee something like that. However, seeing his daughter's enthusiasm, the Demon King allows it. Dee then asks what seduction means, but no one knows how to explain it. The scene shifts to the prisoner, who continues to resist torture. Hagi tells Dee to be careful with him. Taiti also comes along, saying that this will be easy for her. Hagi asks why she is there, reminding her that she requested a Parik to serve as an example of seduction. Taiti replies that she is the most suitable choice because she is a professional. Hagi mocks her, saying she is only a professional at pranks. Taiti hits her on the head and tells her to be quiet, pointing out that unlike her, Hagi is a novice who does not even know how to torture properly. Taiti boasts that she has memorized all seduction methods and that it will be easy to use one to teach Dee, telling her to pay close attention. Hagi gets annoyed and calls her the Eternal Apprentice, but Taiti is determined to prove her worth. Even though the two of them fight all the time, to Dee it looks like they get along very well. Taiti stands in front of the prisoner and calls him handsome. The man looks up, and Taiti touches her lips while asking if he is not bored being locked up there. She tells him not to keep any secrets, saying that if he talks, they will let him go and do some fun things together so he can relax. Taiti feels that she just gave the best performance of her life. There is no way this prisoner can resist, since she followed the manual perfectly. Proud of herself, she turns to Hagi and asks what she thought, boasting that she can now be like her sisters. However, the prisoner replies by telling her that her mother would scold her for being so forward, and suggests that she should go home and eat properly instead. This completely shocks and embarrasses Taiti. Furious, she threatens to kill him on the spot, but Hagi steps in to stop her. They cannot kill him until he confesses everything. Taiti then starts crying, upset that he made fun of her. She asks if he has any idea how hard she worked to learn how to seduce men. At that moment, Dee picks up something that Taiti dropped. Taiti insists again that they should just kill him, but now Hagi feels secondhand embarrassment. Taiti challenges Hagi, saying that if she is so embarrassed, then she should be the one to set an example instead of always criticizing. After a while, Taiti calms down, and Hagi has no choice but to take over herself. The man clearly says that no matter what she does, he will not talk. Hagi then gets very close to his face and claims that men can never resist this, asking if he really can when faced with such huge oranges. This makes the man react instinctively. Still, strong-willed, he says he is not interested. Hagi then suggests using her lips. Hearing this, the man starts swallowing nervously. She tells him she will make him forget all his secrets, but just as she is about to kiss him, she suddenly stops. She says she cannot do it and instead starts punching him, shouting about how disgusting it is that she would be forced to do something so indecent. She even questions the Demon King, asking how he could expect her to give herself to a man she has no interest in. Of course, this was her own idea, since the Demon King never ordered her to do that. Dee asks Taty if this is also seduction, but Taty replies that it is just violence. Dee notices that her teacher looks sad. Taty admits that she just wanted to prove her worth. She remembers how she used to pose in front of the mirror. She knows her body is very small, which is why people mistake her for a child. She admits that she does not actually know how to seduce, but she has no other talent, and if she goes somewhere else, she will be rejected again. That is why she thought that if she succeeded in this trial, people would finally take her seriously. However, her selfishness ended up ruining Dee's trial instead. She tells her that she did not ruin it because she actually taught her something. Taking the lipstick that fell from Taty's coat, she asks her to watch what she is about to do. Little Dee approaches the prisoner and after painting her face, challenges him to a staring contest. The man, confused, asks what she is trying to do, but the girl only laughs and then starts tickling him. Taty and Hagi remain serious. Dee stops tickling him and declares herself the winner. The prisoner complains, saying that tickling is not fair and that if the one who laughs loses, then she laughed first. Dee ignores him and keeps her serious face. The prisoner gets fed up and makes it clear that he will not say anything even if they lose this silly game. Dee pays no attention and starts tickling him again. Unable to endure it anymore, the man finally agrees to talk and confesses everything. Laughing loudly, he admits that he was the one who made the graffiti on the castle walls, and even so, he says he is very sorry. Hagi is shocked that he ended up confessing because of a simple prank instead of torture or seduction. However, setting that aside, she is still annoyed because it took a lot of effort to erase that graffiti, so she thinks about punishing him severely. At that moment, Taty approaches Dee and says that everything went according to plan and that this trial was easy for both of them. Hagi confronts her, saying that she does not remember seeing her do anything and accuses her of trying to take credit. Dee corrects this, saying that she was able to do the prank because Taty taught her how to do mischief. The two then celebrate, high-five each other, and officially begin prank time. A song starts playing in the background, and the two begin painting all the walls. Not only that, they also paint the faces of everyone who crosses their path, making them wag their tails as well until the entire castle ends up covered in drawings. Now we see two characters arrive at the Demon King's castle. The doll explains that in this place the king and his son oppress humans, so the blonde girl says that this is exactly why she cannot abandon them. She asks him to leave everything in the hands of the Great Marina. We then move to the inside of the caves. Dee goes to visit some children to play with them. We see that the slaves are happy to see her. She then asks everyone to go play at the park that the lords built. After playing there for a while, the children tell Dee about Santa. They explain that he comes on Christmas night when everyone is asleep. He is a magical being who leaves what you wish for under your pillow if you have been good. This excites Dee, and she asks how long it is until Christmas. They answer that it is soon. The problem is that they do not know if he will come because they must write their wish and name on a piece of paper so that Santa knows. However, they have neither pencil nor paper, which discourages the children. Dee reassures them and tells them that she will take care of it. Later, we see her with Hagi, asking for a pen and paper in front of the Demon King. Hagi asks His Majesty what he thinks about it. The Demon King calmly says that there is no problem with giving paper and a pen to the slaves. However, Hagi interrupts, saying that they should not underestimate how such items could be used, imagining that a slave might stab a guard with a pen. Hagi's imagination runs wild. Since anything can be used as a weapon, the Demon King gives them something less dangerous instead, small boards in exchange for the pen. Even so, this is still considered a problem, but seeing how excited the children are, they can no longer refuse. The Demon King also mentions that he has heard about Santa before. According to legend, he has the ability to materialize any wish. However, he doubts that such a being exists, because if he were real, he would have exterminated the demons centuries ago. Hagi agrees, but she also sees the military potential of such a being and proposes capturing Santa and making him subordinate to His Majesty. This will be the test, capturing Santa. After that, Haji explains her plan. According to reports, Santa comes at night when everyone is asleep. First, they will go to the mine and hide in the shadows. When everyone is asleep, they will become invisible. When Santa enters, His Majesty will use a binding barrier so that he cannot escape. Then Dee will use her ice magic to trap him, and the mission will be complete. Haji asks what they think of the plan. The Demon King did not intend to participate, but seeing how motivated she is, he agrees, even though he is not fully convinced. With the plan approved by the Demon King himself, Haji tells Dee that they must have the children write letters to bring Santa. Even though the Demon King believes Santa does not exist, he still goes along with it because of how cute they both look. That same night, Marina and the doll arrive at the castle, ringing bells. When the sound is heard, everyone in the castle falls into a deep sleep. Marina takes advantage of this and enters through the chimney. After walking around for a while without finding any children, she wonders where they are. The doll cannot believe that they have actually gotten lost inside the Demon King's castle. He wonders what will happen if the demons wake up. Marina calms him, assuring him that no one will wake up. Suddenly, he hears Santa's bells again. Tun does not believe it, pointing out that her flat chest is trembling non-stop. This makes Marina angry, and she threatens to shove him down a demon's throat. While they are arguing, Dee appears behind Marina, shouting that she finally caught Santa. Everyone is confused and asks who the little girl is. She introduces herself as the demon Dee. The doll is shocked to hear this and immediately rings the bells again. However, even though he shakes the bells, Dee does not fall asleep, making him wonder why. The little girl smiles and tells them that she stayed up late. Marina picks her up, calling her a naughty child. Dee proudly agrees. Then Marina asks if she really is Santa. She confirms it and introduces Tun as her elf. After all this, Marina asks Dee if she knows where the children are. Little Dee answers that she does know and that she also wants to help. In this way, we see them outside the castle delivering gifts to the children. Tun is not comfortable with this decision and points out that Dee is a demon and that they should not lower their guard. In response, Marina reminds him that he is also a demon, leaving little Tun without a reply. Dee then asks Marina if that little one is really a demon. The blonde confirms it and explains that Tun is the name they give to her many helpers. Originally, the Tuns were demons who made toys and played tricks on humans from their attics. But a very, very long time ago, on a freezing night, a child discovered a Tun trying to steal food. The Tun ran away, but ended up frozen from hunger and cold. At that moment, the child brought him warm milk and cookies. In the end, the two covered themselves with the same blanket, and even though it was a cold night, they slept warmly together. This softened the heart of that little Tun, reforming him into a good demon who decided to do good things for good children. That is how Santa Claus was born. The little one, slightly confused, asks what the Tuns turn into. Marina points to herself and says that they become like her, creating gifts. She explains that by doing so, they can create anything. Dee claps in amazement and asks the little one if there are many Santas. He confirms that there are. Then Dee pulls out a sheet with different drawings of Santa and asks if there are ones like these. Marina comes closer and points out that one looks exactly like her brother. She asks if Dee drew them, but Dee answers that she did not. She starts pointing at them one by one while saying the names of the children who drew them. Marina then asks why a demon like her does something like this for humans. The sweet little girl replies that it is because they are friends. This makes Marina happy. Dee then grabs the little one and tells them that they are also her friends. Marina thanks her for the honor and asks her that if she ever meets another Santa, she should also be friends with them. Dee promises that she will. In this way, they continue delivering the gifts. When only 3 are left, Marina suggests having a race. The two of them run off in different directions, and Tun has no choice but to follow along. After they finish delivering all the gifts, Marina thanks Dee for her help and asks if they are going to leave now. She confirms that they are, but then asks Dee what she wants to wish for, even though Santa normally only gives gifts to human children. This time, she will allow it. She asks again what her wish is. Dee pulls out a piece of paper from her sleeve, and we see that her wish was to help Santa, which has already been fulfilled. This surprises Marina. Tun asks if that is why she did not fall asleep. Marina hugs Dee and thanks her again. Dee asks if they will be able to talk again, and Marina confirms it, telling her to behave well until then and wishing her a Merry Christmas. The next morning, Haji wakes up and asks Dee if she really met Santa. Dee confidently confirms it, telling her that Santa looks like a girl and that they delivered gifts together. Haji feels depressed for having fallen asleep at such an important moment, while the Demon King, much more carefree, admits that he never believed Santa truly existed. Here, Haji stands up and asks what happened to Santa and whether they managed to capture her. Dee answers that no, she simply went back home. Haji becomes even more disappointed, since if Santa was not captured, then the mission is not complete. However, Dee tells her that Santa left a gift behind. Inside a huge box was a Santa costume for the Demon King. Dee is happy about it, but Haji does not like the gift at all. Even so, the Demon King gives his daughter a mission, to capture Santa Haji. He then runs toward her and hugs her, declaring the mission complete. Yes, the little girl completely defeated her. On a new day, the Demon King receives a report about a collapse in the mine. Apparently, there were human casualties. Dee becomes worried about this, but the king tells her that it is nothing, and that she should instead be careful with what she is doing now. Dee is holding a knife. The Demon King asks her how she should place her left hand, and Dee answers that she should hold it like a kitten. Her father praises her and then tells her to slowly lower the knife, or she might cut her hand. Dee lowers the knife to cut the bread, but immediately Haji shouts at the king for being overprotective, which is completely true. When Dee cuts her bread, the king tells Haji that she is mistaken, since she can clearly see that he is teaching Dee how to cook. The Demon King says that he already knew this would happen, but he could not refuse. We then see his memory. While he was working the previous day, Dee came to him and asked if he and Haji worked very hard. If so, she wanted to learn how to cook so she could make delicious food for both of them. That is why he could not say no. It was the first time his adorable daughter wanted to cook. That is why he asks Haji to understand. Haji sees him as a hopeless case and a completely doting father, until Dee offers her some bread. However, just as Haji is about to take a bite, she notices that the king is becoming depressed because he was not the first one to receive Dee's cooking. The closer the bread gets to Haji, the more the king sinks into despair. Haji starts questioning whether she should even eat it. After thinking too much, Dee asks her if she does not like the bread. Haji says that is not the reason, until she suddenly gets an idea and suggests that Dee should prepare food for the magical beast. This immediately catches the Demon King's attention, and his expression changes at once. He tells Haji that she had a great idea, and offers to let Dee feed his familiar, the most suitable one for this test. Haji accepts the order with malicious intent, while Dee does not understand what they are planning. The scene changes. We see the mine collapse. Haji tells Dee that because of this, the excavation has stopped, and more importantly, there were casualties. Dee immediately wants to go heal them so they can continue working, but Haji stops her for always thinking that way. She asks if Dee has forgotten the 3 principles of demons. Dee answers that she remembers them, saying they are roll, stamp, and taste. Haji corrects her, saying they are steal, oppress, and kill. Demons must hurt humans and must not heal them, because humans are meant to be used to feed the monsters. Haji then introduces the Demon King's familiar, Drew, a creature that was very useful during the world invasion. Its main role was disposing of fallen humans. She explains that Drew reacts to human blood and only devours the injured. In simple terms, Dee's mission is to feed Drew with those wounded humans. Dee questions this since she wants to heal their injuries. In response, Haji asks if she would abandon Drew just to save humans. She makes it clear that this is not only about Drew, since many different creatures live in the demon world. Some eat only meat, others eat fish, and some eat only eggs. They do not do this out of preference, but to survive. For Drew, if humans are not injured, they are not food, and it spits them out. Haji warns that if Dee heals all the humans, Drew will not eat and will starve to death. Dee does not want that, so with no other option she runs toward the humans to bring them over. Haji sees how determined she is and says that she will take advantage of Dee's kindness to finally turn her into a ruthless demon. When Dee reaches the human children, she tries to take the girl with her, but the girl is in too much pain from her wound. Seeing that she cannot walk, Dee decides to heal her. Haji intervenes and asks why she is healing her. Dee explains that she cannot carry the girl since she is not strong enough, and her arms feel heavy. Haji asks why that is, and Dee pulls out a sandwich, saying she has many in her pocket. At that moment, Drew approaches in an intimidating manner. Haji tells Dee that because she healed its food, it is now angry. Dee notices what Drew wants and offers it her sandwich, which is slightly glowing. The monster accepts it, leaving Haggy speechless. Dee communicates with the creature and happily tells Haggy that it seems to find the sandwich delicious. Haggy looks for an explanation, but then realizes that the sandwich contains mana, which is why Drew liked it. At that moment, Dee declares that she has already decided she will learn how to cook delicious food so that everyone can eat and they can all eat together. Seeing that her plan has failed once again, Haggy collapses to the ground. When the Demon King arrives, he sees Drew helping the humans move large rocks. He asks how things ended up like this. Haggy, completely defeated, answers that she does not understand it either. In response, the little girl looks at him and simply smiles sweetly. On a new day, Dugando is seen riding on Drew with her small pet on top. Haggy reports to the Demon King about a test of sadism. She prepared a poisoned apple and wants Miss D to distribute it in a human village. When DGS sees people writhing in pain, her demonic instincts and sadistic heart should awaken. This idea seems perfect to the king, since any desire for cruelty is part of a demon's instinct, and Dee must also carry that within her. With that decided, Haggy goes to find Dee for the test. However, she sees that the king is dressing her up nicely like Little Red Riding Hood. Haggy complains about dressing her that way, but according to him, it is for her protection. Later, they give the apples to Dee, warning her that they are not ordinary apples because they contain poison inside. At that moment, they notice she is about to eat one, so they quickly take it away. They explain that the apples are not for her to eat, but to cause suffering. She must distribute them to humans, and through that she will become a true demon. On the way, Haggy is convinced that this plan will work. Once Dee hands them out, her sadistic instincts will awaken naturally, because as a demon, she should enjoy seeing others suffer. However, along the way, Dee gets distracted when she sees a wet cat and helps it, taking care of it. After that, they arrive at the village. Haggy chose a poor village, so the plan would not fail. Dee only needs to lie and give them the apples. She must not say that they are poisoned. Haggy tells her that she understands. At that moment, they hear screams coming from the village. A mother begs Lord Amma for mercy. He is a giant monster who came to collect payment. Haggy remarks that she did not know there was already a ruler here. The mother cries out that her daughter is dying of hunger and begs him to give them something to eat. Amma approaches with meat, only to eat it right in front of them. He is complete scum. He mockingly asks who they think they are to ask him for food. He claims to be a messenger of God and says that he protects them from demon invasions in exchange for taking all their food. Dee asks Haggy if that man is truly a messenger of God. Haggy denies it, explaining that angels have wings and halos on their heads, so that fat, huge man is definitely not a messenger of God. The villagers also know this, since his greed has caused them to starve. This angers Amma, and he smashes a cart in front of them. Since Haggy wants to avoid trouble during the test, she tells Dee that they will go to another village. However, they then realize that Dee went to speak with Amma and offered him the apples. Haggy panics at how reckless she is. Amma asks who she is and where she comes from. Dee answers that she is from the demon castle and that she is a demon, although she remembers that Ki told her not to say that. Amma asks what a demon is doing here. Dee explains that she came to give apples. The mother begs for some, but Amma becomes angry. Seeing that a fight is about to start, Haggy thinks everything is going perfectly, because if Dee gives the apple, her demonic instincts should awaken. Dee then offers an apple to the little girl, asking if she likes apples of suffering. The girl begins to cry, saying that she does not want to suffer. Seeing the child's expression, Dee gives up. At that moment, the monster shouts that he enjoys causing suffering to others. While saying this, the monster continues beating the humans, who cannot hurt him at all with their poor tools. Dee misunderstands what the monster says, and assumes that he likes apples of suffering, so she offers him one without explaining anything else. The ogre accepts it, thinking that she is truly afraid of him. He eats the apple without any problem, finds it tasty, then takes the rest and eats those as well. The woman becomes furious, but she cannot do anything. Suddenly, they hear the ogre's stomach growl. He feels intense pain in his stomach and asks what the hell she gave him. Dee calmly replies that they are apples of suffering. The ogre feels tricked and tries to hit her, but at that moment, the Demon King himself comes out from under Dee's hood and protects her. At the same time, Haggy also intervenes and defeats the monster with a single kick. All the humans witness this and begin applauding, calling them heroes and messengers of God. This slightly annoys the Demon King. but Hagi calms him down. D, meanwhile, happily eats the fruits that the ogre was trying to take, and once again the humans cheer for the two of them while shouting about freedom. The Demon King tells Hagi that the test seems to have been a complete success, thinking that D caused fear with her apples. However, Hagi knows this is not true, since demons are supposed to spread terror everywhere. Ahriman then says that it no longer matters. In the end, D did manage to distribute the apples. We then see the kind D giving an apple to the little human girl. The Demon King concludes that the test probably failed, since that apple is clearly no longer poisoned, but he no longer cares. Turning to the humans, he declares that from now on, they are under his protection and that no demon will ever intimidate them again. He proclaims that he, the Demon King Ahriman, will treat them better than any messenger of God. Upon hearing this, the humans glorify his name, which clearly confuses Hagi. As promised, the village is now guarded by 2 soldiers. The people live without worries, but suddenly 6 figures with angel-like appearances descend from the sky. They introduce themselves as angels, also known as messengers of God, and claim they came to save the villagers because they heard they were being dominated by demons. The villagers fall silent and stare at them strangely. One of the messengers asks what is wrong, and the villager replies that they are already tired of messengers of God. The angels try to explain that they are the real ones, pointing to their halos and wings. They insist that they came to save them from demons. However, another villager says that they are living just fine with the demons, and that they are even better than the previous messengers. This angers a small angel, who warns them that the demons are deceiving them. He says he will prove that they can give them a better life. He grabs a villager, and together with the others, they take him away to new lands. Later, the angels return to the heavenly realm, a place completely different from the demon realm. While flying, the leader of the angels comments on how strange the humans were acting. Another agrees, saying he cannot believe they are happy under demon rule. The long-haired angel tells Mayu, the small blonde one, not to be so rough again, since what he did could be considered kidnapping. Mayu loses his patience and asks why they, the messengers of God, always have to act in secret from the demons, as if they were the ones who started the conflict. Determined to put an end to it, he summons his sword and swears that he will kill all demons that very day. He then descends through the hole that connects the 2 worlds. Meanwhile, the Demon King is burning everything around his castle. The guards beg him to calm down, and Hagi arrives asking what is going on and why the Demon King is furious. A guard explains the situation, saying that the angels apparently took the slaves from his territory. The Demon King hates angels, and if he is not calmed down, he will destroy the entire castle. Just then, Dee arrives and asks Hagi to go draw with her. The blonde woman asks if Dee can draw alone today since she needs to attend to a matter with His Majesty. Dee understands and leaves, wishing her good luck with her work. Hagi asks her not to go too far and to return before it gets dark. After that, the little girl leaves while they try to calm the king. At that moment, a piece of rubble almost falls on them, but they manage to dodge it. Elsewhere, Dee is drawing everything she sees. She then notices the angel from before, trapped in the flames. Below him are dogs trying to eat him. Dee approaches and greets Mayu. He does not know her and tells her not to come closer, but with a simple command, he stops the dogs. After that, Mayu comes down and hands her his sword. The angel thanks her and asks what she is doing in a place like this, since the Demon King's castle is very close. Dee tells him that she often comes to this place. This worries Mayu, since she should be with her parents. With no other choice, he says he will take her with him. However, if he flies here, the people from the castle might see him, so they have no choice but to walk. Dee asks where they are going. Mayu answers that they are going to a safe place and tells her not to worry, because he will protect her. At that moment, Dee notices his halo, which Hagi had already told her about, as well as his wings. This excites her, but since Mayu does not understand what she is thinking, he continues walking. As they move forward, Mayu runs into many problems. He falls into a river. Then a monkey steals his sword, Dee recovers it. Rocks are about to crush them, but Dee covers his face. Then some bears arrive and save them. Mayu gets angry at Dee for playing tricks on him, although in the end they were saved. Dee could have been seriously injured, which worries Mayu, and a demon could have appeared as well. However, Dee tells him that everyone is kind to her. For Mayu, this is impossible, since demons are not kind to humans. Dee then reveals that she is a demon, pointing at her small horns. This alarms Mayu, who asks if she tried to deceive him. Dee replies that she did not. Mayu tells her that he will not be fooled by a demon and runs to attack her. However, Dee does not pay attention to him and instead looks at other things around her, effortlessly dodging Mayu's attacks without even thinking. Her instincts are extremely sharp. Eventually, Mayu crashes into a tree and praises Dee's good reflexes. After some time, they are seen sitting together. Mayu is surprised that Dee can heal his wounds. She then asks if he is an angel, mentioning that her older sister Hagi told her about them, beings who live in the sky with wings and a ring on their heads. Mayu corrects her, saying that it is actually a halo, not a ring. He then notices that she is drawing something and asks what she is doing. Dee replies that she is drawing him since he is the first angel she has met and she wants to keep it. Mayu cannot help but call her a strange demon. Dee asks why. Mayu reminds her that she is a demon and that they are supposed to fight angels, but she is completely different. She helped him the entire time. Dee asks if the two sides fight each other. Mayu confirms this. He explains that angels seek world peace, while demons only do evil. That is why they get along so poorly and fight every day. But now that he is here, he will be the one to defeat all the demons and put an end to this conflict. After all, a real fight is facing each other head-on. Dee tells him that for her, fighting is meant to make peace, and that is why she wants to make peace with the angels. Mayu tells her that this is impossible because both sides hate each other. In response, Dee shows him a drawing of him together with her demon family. Along with the drawing, she tells him that she likes him. Mayu blushes. At that moment, his fellow angels arrive to take him away. Before leaving, Mayu asks her to promise him something. He says that one day he will become the king of the celestial realm, and when that happens, he wants her to become the queen of the demon realm. Then, together, they will make peace between their two worlds. Dee does not fully understand, but Mayu still asks her to promise, and Dee agrees. We then return to Demon King Araman. He is extremely angry because his villagers were taken away by the angel. Haji and the other generals try to calm him down, but they fail. Just then, Dee arrives and shows him the drawing with Mayu. Araman's expression changes immediately. Haji assumes he is furious because there is an angel in the drawing. However, the opposite is true. Araman embraces his daughter and thanks her for putting effort into drawing that for him. All the generals feel relieved because he has calmed down. Haji, on the other hand, is left completely shocked, wondering if the joy of receiving a gift from his daughter truly outweighs his fury over seeing an angel drawn. Feeling utterly defeated, she admits that Dee won completely.